It's the 5th of December, 1944. A German submarine is leaving Kiel with something welded into her keel that will still be a problem in your lifetime. Her name is U-864, a Type 9D2, one of the long-range boats built to reach the other side of the world. Below the deck plates, sealed into the cargo keel, sit 1,857 steel flasks. Each one is filled with liquid mercury. Together, they weigh somewhere around 65 tons. Somewhere around. Because the Norwegian government's figure today is 60. Other records say 67. Nobody has ever been able to count them exactly. Hold on to that. It's going to matter. The mission has a name, Operation Caesar. She is carrying the mercury, components and engineering drawings for German jet engines, and a small group of German and Japanese engineers to Japan. Germany is losing. This is one of the last things it tries. Her commander is Korvettenkapitän Rolf Reimar Wolfram. This is the only boat he will ever command. And the most dangerous thing aboard U-864 was never her torpedoes. The voyage goes wrong almost immediately. U-864 runs aground in the Kiel Canal. She's repaired and sent on. She reaches Bergen on the Norwegian coast and shelters inside the concrete submarine pens. The Royal Air Force bombs them. The concrete holds. U-864 takes damage anyway. And then there's the engine. One of her diesels is misfiring. On a submarine, a misfiring engine is not just a mechanical fault. It's a sound. A specific, repeating, identifiable sound. And sound travels a very long way through cold water. Wolfram is ordered back toward Bergen to have it fixed. What he does not know is that in England, they already have his orders. British codebreakers have read the signals about Operation Caesar. They know a submarine is bound for Japan. They know roughly where she is. And they have sent something to wait for her. The cargo that made U-864 important is the same cargo that made her slow. And the fault that turned her back is the fault that will let someone find her. Off the island of Fedje, north of Bergen, the British submarine HMS Venturer is submerged and listening. Her commander is Lieutenant James Launders. He is 25 years old. Venturer is running without active sonar. Launders won't use it. Active sonar sends out a ping, and a ping tells the other boat exactly where you are. So he hunts the way you hunt something that can hear you. He listens. And what he hears is an engine that doesn't sound right. Through the periscope, his officer picks out something on the surface. Not a ship, a thin, vertical line, cutting a small wake. A periscope. There are no Allied boats operating here. Whoever that is, it's the enemy. And now, Launders has a problem nobody in the history of naval warfare has solved. No submarine has ever sunk another submarine while both were submerged. Not once. Not even by accident. Firing at a surface ship means solving for a target moving across 2 dimensions. This one is moving through 3, and it's zigzagging. Launders shadows him for roughly 3 hours. He works the pattern with a stopwatch. Time the zig, time the zag, count the seconds, do it again, write it down. Wolfram, meanwhile, is doing one thing exactly right, and one thing very wrong. He's changing course every few minutes, that's right, but he's leaving his periscope raised. It's a thin line above the water. It is also a marker, and it is telling Launders everything he needs. because Launders isn't going to fire at where U-864 is. He's going to fire at where the arithmetic says she will be. 4 torpedoes, a spread, released seconds apart, aimed at 4 points in the water she has not reached yet. The first misses. The second misses. The third misses. Aboard U-864, they hear the launches. Wolfram dives hard and turns. He turns into the fourth. The torpedo strikes amidships. At 150 meters, a hull that has been opened does not sink slowly. U-864 goes to the bottom in 2 large pieces. 73 men are aboard. There are no survivors. On Venturer, the crew listen through the hydrophones until the noise stops. They have just done something that has never been done, and that has not been done since. Nobody aboard Venturer celebrates. And then, for almost 60 years, that is the end of the story. It isn't, because the mercury went down with her. Metallic mercury is the silver liquid that used to sit in thermometers. Japan wanted it for weapons production, for the primers and detonators that set off shells. It doesn't burn. It doesn't dissolve. It doesn't break down into something harmless. Left alone, mercury just stays mercury, more or less forever. What it does do is move. Bacteria in seabed sediment convert metallic mercury into methyl mercury, and methyl mercury climbs into worms, into fish, into anything that eats fish. If you're finding this file worth your time, subscribing is what tells me to keep opening them. A like helps it reach someone who'd want it. The flasks holding it were steel. They were built for one voyage. They were not built to sit in salt water for 80 years. For 6 decades, nobody thought about any of this. Nobody even knew exactly where U-864 was. And then somebody wrote a letter. In 2003, the Norwegian authorities received information about a German submarine off Fedje that went down carrying mercury. The Royal Norwegian Navy goes looking. The mine control vessel HMS Venturer finds her, about 2 nautical miles west of the island, at 150 meters. She is in 2 sections, debris scattered between them, sitting on a steep underwater slope. In 2004, they take sediment samples from around the wreck. The mercury readings come back far above normal background levels. In 2005, the Norwegian Food Safety Authority advises pregnant women and children not to eat seafood from the area. Fishing around the wreck is banned. And here is where a war grave becomes a national problem. Fedje sits in one of Norway's most important aquaculture regions. This is salmon country, one of the country's largest export industries. And it is happening in the same water. The estimated leak is small, a few kilograms a year. But mercury doesn't leave. It accumulates. A small number, multiplied by forever, is not a small number. So Norway has to decide what to do with it. And this is where it becomes genuinely difficult, because both answers are bad. Option 1, raise the wreck. Take the source out of the sea completely. Option 2, leave it and bury it. Cover the wreck and the poisoned seabed under sand and rock. Raising it means lifting a broken submarine off a slope at 150 meters with unexploded torpedoes still inside her, and with the flasks already leaking. If that operation goes wrong, you don't get a small leak. You get all of it at once. Burying it means the mercury stays there. You are not solving the problem. You are agreeing to manage it permanently and hoping the cover holds. In 2008, the Coastal Administration awards a salvage contract. In January 2009, the government decides, raise her. Then it's postponed, pending more studies. Then it's reversed. In 2016, a contractor stabilizes the slope underneath the wreck. 30,000 tons of sand, 160,000 tons of rock. Because before you can do anything at all, you have to stop the seabed from moving. In February 2017, after roughly 15 years of assessment, the decision finally lands. Cover it. Around $32 million. Work begins in 2018. And at a public meeting on Fedje that June, an emergency director from the Coastal Administration is asked the obvious question, and he answers it honestly. There is no guarantee the mercury will not leak out. The islanders had been asking for it to be removed for 15 years. Then, in 2024, Norway changes course again. Instead of choosing between raising it and burying it, the plan becomes something in between. Go down, cut access into the cargo keel, take out what can be reached, and seal the rest. That operation went ahead this year. They got access to a section of the keel. They brought up 22 of the mercury containers. Around 80% of them were damaged and leaking. 4 out of every 5. And that is a sample. The Coastal Administration's assessment now is that a significant quantity of mercury has already escaped into the sediment, and there are somewhere around 1,800 more flasks down there that nobody has laid eyes on. Lieutenant Launders' 4th torpedo did exactly what it was built to do in 1945. It stopped a shipment of war material from reaching Japan. It also opened a container that nobody has been able to close since. 81 years later, Norway is still working on it. If you want the other half of this file, how Britain knew where to wait, that one is next.